5 Best Cities in the UK to Visit in 2022. The UK includes some of the best countries to visit in the world, and each city reflects a unique culture and identity. Whether you want to visit a lesser-known city or join the masses of tourists visiting major cities that have been darlings for decades, this list will give you plenty of choices. 1. London, largest city. As the capital of England and the country's largest, London was always going to be on this list. It is one of the greatest arts and cultural hubs in both Europe and the rest of the world. London is easily the most popular and famous to visit in England, and for many good reasons. London is full of attractions, including historical sites, landmarks, art galleries, theatres, and museums. Your days visiting London will be varied and action-packed. For example, you may spend a morning at the Natural History Museum, an afternoon grabbing lunch and shopping at the market in Camden Borough, and an evening watching a West End show. 2. Manchester. Manchester is one of the best cities in northern England. Its flamboyant urban area and nightlife make it popular with university students, and visitors can expect a fun, friendly atmosphere. Manchester was massively shaped by the Industrial Revolution and is widely claimed to be the world's first industrial city. Manchester was once famous for textile production, the wealth from which was reinvested in the city's development and into wealthy families. However, Manchester has outgrown its revolution associations nowadays and is now known as an entertaining weekend getaway and sought-after place to live. You can learn about the Industrial Revolution at Manchester's Science and Industry Museum. We'd recommend also allowing time to visit the Manchester Art Gallery and the National Football Museum. The Manchester Art Gallery showcases artworks from over 6 centuries, and the Football Museum is a must for Premier League fans. In the evening, head to the Gay Village or Spinning Fields for a few drinks at the best pubs and clubs. The Manchester dress code is retro and indie regardless of the venue, so come prepared with your trendiest outfits. 3. Leeds. Leeds was also massively influenced by the Industrial Revolution, and you'll notice converted mill and factory buildings in many of the nearby areas. Leeds is the 3rd biggest in England and is known for its hospitality, small city centre, and proximity to the Yorkshire Dales. Leeds is favoured amongst university students, meaning you'll enjoy a friendly atmosphere and lots of cheap eateries. The centre is small, easily walkable, and perfect for a weekend of shopping, wining, and dining. We'd recommend allowing time to take a day trip to Yorkshire Dales National Park, visit the Industrial Museum, and Kirkstall Abbey. If you want a drink, don an embarrassing fancy dress costume for the Otley Run, a famous local pub crawl, or head to the calls for photogenic venues along the river. 4. Edinburgh. Edinburgh is an amazing city to visit. As the Scottish capital, it attracts millions of tourists and, honestly, you should join the crowd. Edinburgh is famed for its old town, which has those dreamy cobbled streets lined with independent shops, cafes, and restaurants. Some of the buildings in the old town are 500 years old, and the architecture gives the neighbourhood a time capsule effect, especially with Edinburgh Castle and the sound of bagpipes in the background. Edinburgh Castle is easily one of the best things to do, although you should also visit the National Museum, climb the Scott Monument, and walk the Royal Mile. Edinburgh excellently encapsulates the Scottish culture, history, and identity. 5. Glasgow. Glasgow is a great city to visit, and you'll find lots of things to do and see. It has a slightly more modern feel than Edinburgh and lots of public green space to enjoy in the summer. Of course, Glasgow has 2 very passionate rival football teams, and fans should try to attend a Celtic or Rangers game to experience the sporting passion firsthand. You should prioritise visiting the Glasgow Necropolis, People's Palace, Calvin Grove Art Gallery and Museum, and Pollock Country Park. Pollock Country Park is particularly popular amongst tourists wanting to see Highland cattle. The park has a herd that lives on site, so note it down if you want to meet one. Glasgow is widely known as the country's second city, but we think it ranks just as highly as Edinburgh.